Hey everyone, I want to talk a little bit about the Horizons PSYK Psych ETF. I think I believe it's a US based ETF, but it's definitely a North American based ETF if it's not. And it's the first psychedelic ETF basically. It's the first real psychedelic ETF. So I quickly looked at its holdings. Obviously, it's down over the last, you know, the year to date it's down, and over the last approximately 1 year it's down as well. So let's see. I looked at that company's holdings, at that ETF's holdings. They're the traditional things you'd expect from a psychedelic ETF. So you have things like Field Trip, MindMed, you have Atai, which owns Compass. You also have Compass in that group. You have a new company called GH Research, which I haven't heard of. I have to do more research about GH Research. You have big players like Johnson and Johnson, and I think I saw AbbVie on there. Johnson and Johnson, the same company that makes the baby shampoo, and also the same one that made all the opioids and kind of was a big contributor to the opioid crisis. And this is not, this is just me saying that from my own opinion, and it's also, I believe, what the courts have said, or what the courts found. I think there was some kind of deal that they made with the courts due to the opioid stuff. So you basically have a situation where you have this new ETF out. It's got the main companies in there. I think you also have Celos in there. You have Cybin in there. As I said, obviously, MindMed, Atai. You have. What else did you have? I think those are the main ones. I think the biggest one, the last time I checked, the biggest holding was GH Research, which was surprising to me. Obviously, MindMed, Field Trip, you have Atai. Those are big holdings as well. And then you have some minor holdings. I like the ETF. I like the ETF in the sense that, you know, literally showing me what companies are in the psychedelic space, and it's showing me things that I couldn't necessarily know, like maybe GH Research. I didn't know about that one myself. When I saw it in the PSYK ETF, that's when I knew about it. Johnson and Johnson, I knew they were getting a little bit into this space, but seeing Johnson and Johnson in the ETF itself definitely made me, has made me, and will make me take a second look in Johnson, um, because I want to see, okay, what are they really doing? Yeah, they have a big market cap. They're different. They're different in kind, not in like not in quantity or quality, but different in kind, absolutely, than the other psychedelic firms. The other psychedelic firms are tiny firms. They're like 100x, 1000x plays. Obviously, as I've said before, this is not financial advice. Of course, don't be foolish and take financial advice from somebody online. This is at best infotainment. So Johnson and Johnson, I wasn't looking at that before. It wasn't on my radar before ever. Now at least it's within my radar. I'm at least looking at it. So I haven't bought Johnson yet, um, because again, to me, it's a traditional company. There has to be something quite compelling from what they're doing. I think they're doing an intranasal or some kind of nasal spray with ketamine. So, but I have to look at it more. I have to look at it more before I make any kind of a concrete opinion on that. But so I like Psych for what it does. I like Psych for what it is, but I don't buy Psych. I don't buy that ETF. I don't buy it because I don't know Horizons too well, and I don't know that ETF too well, and I don't know the fund managers too well, the ETF managers. I don't know how they're approaching it, and I think the fee may be a little high. I forgot what the fee was, but when I saw it, I basically said, it's not worth it for this. Now, I'm not dogging this company or dogging the ETF. I think that's awesome what they're doing, and I think that literally what they're doing is helping me because I once in a while, every few months, I go back and I look at their holdings and I look at what's happening. Of course, over the last year to date, surely, and I believe also for the entire year, last 12 months, I think PSYKE Psych, that ETF went down from about 10, $11 to like $2, $3 now. So obviously stocks have been performing not very well. The growth stock sector has been performing poorly. And specifically, the psychedelic sector has been completely annihilated recently because just no one's interested in it. As I said before, Kevin O'Leary seems to have stopped talking about it. People are just focused on other things. We will need to wait a little bit of time, 6 years, 6 months. Hopefully that wasn't. Hopefully that wasn't accurate. 6 years. That would be terrible. Hopefully about a year and a half, we see much more interest in it. We see some movement with the FDA trials, things getting into phase one moving into phase two, and the first of the phase threes. And approval is going to be down the line, of course. And hopefully, we see people like Kathy Woods of ARK Invest start talking about it and thinking about it again. Then we'll have all the kind of the mind share back in terms of people getting back into that space, starting to think about that space again. But basically, um, you have an ETF there that you can kind of quasi replicate, not exactly replicate, but like quasi replicate on your own. That's what I'm doing. So on my own, I'm buying companies. I'm not buying it exactly with the percentages that the ETF has. So if I was going to do that, then my biggest holding in my psychedelic portfolio would be GH Research, but it's not. Currently, it's Atai. And I think second is MindMed, or maybe MindMed is first. I have to kind of analyze that more because I have it split up amongst different accounts. I'm going to do quite a bit better on tracking that so I can show you guys probably over time if you're interested in that. But basically, you have let me see what this notification